Hi friends, welcome back to Pages and Pens / Julie the author. It's time for another book unhaul reaction video to find out whether or not I regret any of the books that I got rid of and whether or not I need to repurchase them. We have finally made it to 2019. We are looking at March 25th of 2019. And the title is The First Unhaul of 2019. So let's see how I did. I think it's a 14-minute long video. Who knows how many books or how much I chatted. I can see just opening the video and getting it like prepped and ready that I do have 2 bookshelves now behind me. So I got rid of my little makeup storage area and swapped to 2 full bookshelves. This is not even, hey, I added another bookshelf. This is, I got rid of both of the things that used to be behind me because it used to be a 3-shelf bookshelf with 2 drawers and then the makeup storage. So this is now 2 full Billy bookshelves, which allowed me to have a little bit more room, but you'll also see how full they already are. So yeah, you know that this meant business because I actually had a little bit more room to put books out and they were still going. That's a face to pause on, Jewel.
Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with an unhaul video. Let's jump right into it. So if you guys have been paying attention to my channel, you saw a little while ago that I did post a video telling you to trash my TBR. And since then, I got a ton of feedback, which I super value and appreciate. And I did weigh your feedback with my own thoughts on these books and make some decisions about books that I wanted to get rid of that were on my shelves that I just didn't think I was going to read or enjoy. I also picked out a couple of other ones. So I have a pile here from that video, a pile here from just my shelves that I decided to cull. And we're going to go into them and I'm going to tell you which ones I'm getting rid of. Now, these will either be getting sold back to like a half-price book used bookstore, or they will be donated to a local library and or high school. I am not going to be sending any of these out. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry necessarily that I'm not sending it to you. Why would I be sending it to you? That would be weird. This, I think, did I get this at a dollar store, this book? But I love that we were doing a Trash My TBR video prior to this that apparently informed these decisions. But let's hear about this. I don't regret this already. I can tell you that.
Of Mystic by Jason Denzel. Literally no one told me to keep this book, and the one person I do know that read it really didn't like it, so thank you, Ola. This was a $1 dollar store book, and this one will just be going. I don't think I need to take that on my shelf anymore.
Amazing.
I will also be getting rid of The Duff and Nerve. I've read this. I've not read this. I've seen this movie and I didn't love it. It wasn't bad, but I also feel like I know the premise and I know the plot twist, so I'm not going to worry about reading it. In terms of this, I've heard that the movie and the book are really different. However, I just don't think it's a premise or an angle that I want to read anymore. And I don't think that I need to know about high school kids in this kind of a setting and situation anymore. I think I'm probably just over it. So as much as some people really did enjoy it, I just don't think it's something that I need to be saving to spend my time on because I just have other things I'm more interested in. I'm going to be getting rid of 13 Little Blue Envelopes, which I did have a couple people go.
Okay, so I don't regret any of that. Reasons are still valid. This one, I mean, I don't think they're probably all a product of the Trash My TBR. And so I definitely didn't read this one, but I'm also very okay with that.
Through the ebook version of this and search for words. Apparently, the F-word slur in regards to somebody's sexuality doesn't exist within this book. I don't know why I misheard that in the other review that I was watching, but there is the use of the R word in terms of discussing somebody's mental capacity, which I do not tolerate. It is an older book, but almost everybody said it was just a marginal 3-star read. And I just don't think that it's something that I need to keep if it's a marginal read, nothing that's going to stand out to me. I've also heard that the premise of this is very close to Everything All at Once by Katrina Leno, and I've read that and enjoyed that enough, and I think she probably did it better. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass that one along. That was, I believe, a book outlet order. Like a lot of these are book outlet books, discount books already. Not that that quantifies me getting rid of them. I didn't spend a ton on them. I'm okay letting them go if I don't think I'm going to enjoy them. I'm also going to be getting rid of Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hudge. Here's the thing. Some people really, really loved this. I do really enjoy Beauty and the Beast retellings. I've recently read a good number of them. Curse So Dark and Lonely, the Akatar series. I feel like I've done this kind of retelling enough times that I got it. I got a good idea of it. I really, really enjoyed A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And I don't think that I need to add this one to the list of retellings that I have read, especially if I don't like some of the statements that the author has made. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go. It's been on my shelf for a really long time, and I could see, even if I did read it eventually, it would probably be a really long time from now as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and let it go. Similarly, though, I really do enjoy Susan Dennard as a person and her personality and writing advice and her life on Instagram and social media. I just don't vibe with her writing. And I know that this is a very different book than her Witchland series, which I just cannot get into. But I don't think that this is going to be a book that I enjoy enough that I want to keep it on my shelves. I've heard
This still holds very, very true. Decisions being made are fantastic decisions. And I stand by the fact that I really like Susan Dennard as a person, as a writer. I think she gives really great writing advice. I'm all right having gotten rid of this.
Here are the two that I was a little bit conflicted on from that video, and that is The Merciless by Danielle Vega, because people either absolutely love it or hate it. But I've heard from multiple people that it is really gruesome and really gory. And while sometimes that's fine with me, I have heard from people that I know and trust and who know my reading taste that there are certain scenes in this that are beyond Julie level of scary, because I am a big, big baby. I can handle certain amounts of like suspense, but like full blown horror, thriller, like kinds of scenes I don't do well with.
She said she doesn't do well with horror thriller. Yep. While that statement did not hold up, this is not a book that I needed to keep. So I'm still okay with what face am I making? Man, I pause just at the perfect times for you guys, don't I?
I've heard that it's just a little bit too like tragedy pornish and a little bit too real and raw, and I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much as I want to.
Then read a little light.
So I'm going to go ahead and let that go, because I was already on the fence about it, and the negative comments on it really did outweigh the positive. Then I'm going to get rid of Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, and this is the one that I probably flip-flopped on the most. I've heard people say that it's kind of like Buffy level of cheesy bad. I've heard other people say that it was really good and they enjoyed it, but that they didn't like the rest of the series. I had a couple people say they really liked the rest of the series. At the end of the day, I know myself, and I know if I pick this book up, it's going to bother me to not read the rest of the series. And I don't know if I could have that looming over me. Like my type A completionist mind, like I'm gonna want to read the rest of the series, especially if this one's like decent. It's gonna bother.
Yeah, this stands up. And I do still think about that, and I do have people that still mention that book and really liked it, but I don't regret getting rid of it. I agree that I would not want to go into a series knowing that the continuing books after book 1 were so disappointing that most people just treat it as a one-book series. Like, I can't go into a series knowing that. That's ludicrous to me. So, I'm okay with this.
Me to just stop there and not continue reading. So I'm just not even going to start it. Again, there were pretty mixed reviews. Like it was a 50-50 thing, and I was already on the fence. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go. Those are all the ones from that video that I am going to get rid of. I am keeping The Wife Between Us, and I'm keeping the Christina Lauren books that I mentioned in that video. Other than that, everything else is going. So I kept 3. Everything else I'm going to get rid of off my shelves, and I feel actually really, really good about it. Then I'm going to be unhauling The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare. This was a lovely gift from Kayla over at Literature Reads. I do have others that she sent me that I haven't gotten to yet. I'm unhauling this to my mom. I'm going to be taking this up to our mountain house, because I think that up there, like poolside.
I think I did do that. And I also think I did read that eventually, whether before or after I took it up there. Why do I keep pausing like this? I look like I have no teeth. But yeah, this is okay.
My mom, my sisters might actually pick this up there. So I'm not going to be getting rid of this. I'm just going to be getting rid of it from my shelves, moving it up to our mountain house, where I think people might enjoy a little bit of a steamy romance read by the pool or out in the yard. So that's where that one's going to go. Then I'm going to be getting rid of a couple books that I just did not care for or care for enough to keep on my shelves. So we're going to start with Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I have a whole bunch of Peter Pan retellings, but the actual Peter Pan story is not one that I love. And I think if I decided to keep one, it probably wouldn't be this one. This one's kind of like classic and cool looking. It does have illustrations inside and deckled edges. It's like a special Barnes and Noble edition, but it's just not one that I think I love for my shelves. So if I really decided to keep this, it probably wouldn't be this copy. And I have retellings and reimagining.
So I have since then purchased a special edition of it that matches my special edition of The Secret Garden, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine getting rid of that book. I don't think there was anything wrong with it, but I also have like a classic childhood classic kids books shelf that is packed, so I'm all right letting go of that. It's we're okay.
Things of Peter Pan that I actually enjoy more than the original story, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. I'm also going to get rid of Casey West's The Distance Between Us. Here's the thing. Casey West is like a middling author to me. I never love her books. Sometimes I hate them. Even when I enjoy them, I don't love them. I'm never going to reread this, so it's just going to go. I'm also going to be getting rid of Juliet Takes a Breath. This one is by Gabby Rivera. I read this for Contemporary-a-thon. Is that what it was? I think so. And I struggle bust through it. I finally pushed through and I did finish it. I tabbed it. I don't think I annotated it, and I did that on purpose because I think I knew I wanted to get rid of it. So I'm going to remove my tabs and I'm going to get rid of this book because I'm never going to touch that again.
Tell me how you really feel. Yes, I'm okay getting rid of any Casey West. We've already discussed this. Sarah Dessen, Casey West, Morgan Matson, they all went. I kept nothing. They're just not for me. Clearly, I had thoughts on that book. I don't remember anything about it, so I don't regret getting rid of it. But I felt strongly.
So it's going to go. I will also be getting rid of The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace. I've been wanting to get rid of this one, but it's been buried in my shelves. And until I reorganized, I had no idea where it was. So I read this. I don't really enjoy this style of poetry. I think out of all of the ones like this, like the Ruby Carr and this kind of style of poetry, I liked this one the most, but I still didn't like it enough to read again. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. I've also been holding on to The Timekeeper.
Yeah, so that checks out. A lot of these are The Timekeeper. We talked about the Sleepy Hollow in the last one. There was a couple of like classics that Crate had included with a book. So they were doing these like classic series along with the book of the month. And I think I've gotten rid of every single one of them. I haven't kept anything. I did since then. When I stopped getting Crate, they put out a special edition of The Secret Garden, and I did go get that on Pango because I love The Secret Garden and I collect editions of it. So I did go get that. But any of these other classics all went, and yeah, these are good choices. We're okay with this.
By H.G. Wells. This one, no, The Time Machine. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I've been holding on to this because it was an Crate book that came. It's an exclusive cover. I haven't read it. It's a smaller classic, and I figured if I ever needed something for a readathon that was a classic or tiny, this might fit. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to read classics, and I don't need to keep it. It's not taking up much space, but I just don't want it. I'm also going to be getting rid of The Last Call at the Nightshade Lounge by Paul Kruger. This was a Dragons and Tea book club book, and I did tab a couple of things in here up until I DNF'd it on page 50.
That was so brutal. It was so hard to read for me, and it was an early DNF, and I regret nothing.
D4. I had the page breakdown, and then I didn't annotate in this because I think I knew it was not going to stay. I did get about 55 pages into this, and I decided it was not the book for me. So I'm going to go ahead and unhaul that, unfortunately. I'm also going to be getting rid of The Bells by Danielle Clayton. I have heard really mixed things about this. I was interested in it. It's a gorgeous cover. It's a gorgeous spine. And the premise was interesting to me, but I just haven't heard quite enough good things to want to keep it. And I've never felt compelled to pick it up. Ever. So I think I kind of fell into like the pretty cover and the initial buzz around this book, but it's just not one that I think was executed well enough that I'm going to want to pick it up in terms of like reviewers that I've seen read it. And I
didn't know where I was going with that. Yeah, no, I don't regret this one. I know people that love it. But it's not one that I'm looking at and going, "Oh, yeah. I should look and see if that's on Hoopla or something." Like, I'm not thinking about it.
I've never once looked at my shelves for like my next read and gone, oh, I'll pick that one up. Like, ever. I haven't even picked this off my shelves to do a try chapter on because it's just not pulling me. So it's going to go. Then I'm going to be getting rid of The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano. This one is a deckled edge, beautiful signed book from Alcrate. This one has a book plate in the front, so it is a signed Alcrate exclusive cover. I read this in audiobook and I liked it well enough, but I don't think I need to keep it on my shelves. I read this the same month I read Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, which has sprayed edges and is really gorgeous, and I actually enjoyed that one more. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this.
Not only do I get rid of that, but I eventually do also get rid of Heart of Iron. So despite liking that one more and having it be a pretty book, I got rid of all of them.
This is one that I might be taking to Texas because apparently the half price books down there gives them a lot of money in exchange for signed books. So I might take it there because my used bookstore doesn't give you any more or any less for signed books. So I might take that. Then I'm going to be getting rid of From Twinkle with Love by Sania Menon. This one, again, is an exclusive cover. It is a signed book, and I've never read it. I never read From Dimple and Rishi, From Rishi to Dimple, When Dimple Met Rishi. I did not read that one. And then this one came in an Alcrate, and they are like standalone, so you can read them separately, but I just have not heard good enough things about this, and I'm just not interested in the premise. And I've heard that our main character is really unlikable. I just don't think that I need that in my life. It is a beautiful, like, yellow, gorgeous book. It's beautiful. I just really have zero interest in reading it, so it's going to go. It sat on my shelves for a really long time because it's beautiful, and I thought that I might want to keep it, but I know I'm not going to read it. And then I'm also going to be getting rid of Pride by...
Yeah, none of these are mistakes. The quantity, the sheer number of Alcrate books that I get rid of is ridiculous. They were way too expensive to be getting rid of that many. And I don't regret getting rid of them. Some of the books were really great. Some of them I really enjoyed. Some of them I still have. Some of them are favorites. But the majority of them were just misses for me. Not the best use of my money, but I definitely at that point thought that I needed to be getting them because everybody on BookTube was doing that and it was content, and these are good choices.
Evie is a Boy, which hurts me because, again, this is a gorgeous book. It's got gorgeous pages inside, bright pink, beautiful cover, signed book, exclusive edition. Problem with this is that I've never read Pride and Prejudice. I have no desire to read Pride and Prejudice, and I just don't like retellings in general, especially of classics. And I've had a couple people that I know and whose opinions on books I trust read it and just not enjoy it. I've also heard the opposite. I've heard people really, really love it. I just think for my own personal reading taste, it's not going to be a book that I enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on so that somebody else can enjoy it. So these three I may be taking down to sell back in Texas and then browse the giant half price books down there, which I'm really excited about. So that's probably where these are going to go. The rest are just going to go into a giant unhaul. I'm going to take them to the used bookstore and or libraries and high schools. And then this one's going to head up the mountains. That's everything. That is 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19.
Those were all fantastic life choices. Not a single one of them made me go, ooh, I should check on Pango and see if they're available and use some of my money credits to get them. Money credits. You know what I mean? Stay tuned. The series is going to continue. I am still looking for the time where I say, oh man, I wish I had that. And I know for sure there are a couple books that I have already repurchased. So I'm desperately waiting for that time because so far, well, I mean, not that I'm looking for mistakes or looking to regret things, but I have not regretted anything so far. So stay tuned. You never know what's going to come. I'll see you in another video very soon. But until then, goodbye, friends.